Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I am back again with my next guest for the Galaxy Man Show is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Emma Jordyn. So everyone, please make Emma welcomed on the Galaxy Man Show for today, talking all things music. So yeah, let's add Emma in and have a chat with Emma Jordyn.
Hello.
Hey, Emma, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just want to say, first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you a part of the Galaxy Man show for today. To people that don't know who you are, Emma, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself first, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
No problem. So hello everyone, my name is Emma Jordyn. I am 18 from Logan in southeast Queensland. I've been singing pretty much since I could talk. And I've been playing guitar for the last 4 years now. And I met Jacob last year at Tamworth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Emma. So for my very first question, you have released a song out that came out last year, which was your very first song called Not For You. What was it like releasing your very first song, Not For You? And what's like the whole meaning behind this song?
I was so excited. This was my first song that I had ever sat down, written, and finished. I've written songs, but they haven't been finished. But this was my first finished song, and I was so excited that Tony from the Tony Q Band helped me release my first single. And all the support that I got from my old vocal coach and my old studio friends and everything like that, it was really meaningful to me. And Not For You is about how I'm not going to let someone's outside perspective try and change who I am as a person. So I had someone pretty much want me to be the complete opposite of what I was. They wanted me to sit in the shadows where I like the spotlight. I like being on the stage. This person pretty much just wanted me to stay backstage, away from everyone, not talk to anyone, be antisocial. And I was like, no, if I'm not for you, please just leave.
So on to my very next question. So you've also performed at the Academy of
Yeah.
CMA, and you also performed at Tamworth Music Festival, as you've mentioned. What were these experiences like for you?
Um, they were amazing opportunities. I absolutely loved meeting everyone that I met at the Academy. Uh, Definitely lifelong friendships. And I've met so many beautiful musicians and artists just being at the Tamworth Country Music Festival. I went to the Gympie Muster the last few years as well. It's the same sort of vibe, and everyone is just so welcoming and so understanding, and they're happy to talk to you about what's going on, and like happy to help you whenever you need it as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, so it's very much like a big family community, which I really love.
So on to my very next question. So what does being an artist mean to you? Like, how did you end up starting out in becoming a singer in the first place? Like, what made you decide, hey, I want to become a singer?
It's a funny story, actually. I think I've just always known that I wanted to be a singer. And when I was younger, I'd get Christmas presents of like these little toy pianos that don't sound like pianos, but they were little toy pianos, and they came with these microphones. And I was just slamming down on the keys into this microphone, and my parents would just sit there and listen to it. And they've encouraged me since before I could actually sing properly. Because they saw how much I enjoyed doing it. And even before I got the vocal training, they could see potential in me. I know that parents always say that, but it's just, I don't know. I've just always wanted to be a performer. I've wanted to be a singer. I was a dancer before I was a singer, actually. I did hip hop, I did belly dancing, and then I wanted to act as well. So I did acting, dancing, singing. I was in the band a lot as well. Like I played the flute, I played the violin. I've just always loved the stage environment.
So on to my very next question. So what does, like, when you're performing in front of crowds, what does the connection mean to you? Like, especially as an artist, what does forming a connection mean to you when you're performing in front of crowds?
Connection is, I've always been taught that it's the biggest thing. If you can't look into your audience and make eye contact with someone, and or if you make the eye contact and you get really nervous and you're like, I can't look. I can't do that. I'm very much like a people person. I love making connections with people. The one person that I can't look at while I'm performing is my mum and my dad. Either dad pulls a funny face or mum's crying or it's the other way around. And it just makes me start crying, especially when I see my dad cry. But connection is honestly the biggest thing for me. I love connecting with people. I love getting to know people. And even if it's through on stage, if people can connect through my music, it's better than any conversation you could ever have, because you know that deep down they've now got a part of you.
So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Oh, oh okay. I've always been in love with Pink ever since I was little. So Pink would 100% be one of my artists. And she's got some beautiful songs, like so many meaningful, beautiful songs. Morgan Wallen, for the same reason as well. His songs are so deep and so meaningful and so beautiful. But then you've also got like the upbeat, fun ones. Oh, and my last one would probably have to be Taylor Moss. I performed one of her songs at the Echo, and Sonic, who was a bass player for Taylor Moss, made a comment that I'd sung one of her songs, or someone posted it somewhere, and she was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for singing one of my songs." And I actually met her at the Gympie Muster, and I started crying. I was like, "Oh my god, I loved singing your song." And she's like, "Oh my god, I saw your video and it sounded so cool. Thank you so much for singing my song." And I was like, ah! I died a little bit on the inside. It was so cute.
Awesome. So on to my very next question for you. So if you could go anywhere on tour as an artist, which country would you want to go to and why?
France. I've always
Okay.
loved. I
Any
told.
any favorite like France food or anything in particular that you would want to see in France?
Um, my music teacher at school saw the Eiffel Tower, and she showed me a photo of it, and I said, "It's like I have a painting of the Eiffel Tower. I have a little picture of the Eiffel Tower. I've got a little figurine next to my bedside table. It's just seeing the Eiffel Tower. That's my main thing." But my music teacher was like, "Oh, it's just like metal wire everywhere," and I was like, "You don't understand. You've seen it. I want to see it." Food wise, no clue. If I can find a Mac.
Good old Macca's in France. I could see that. Okay, so on to my very next question. So if you could give your younger self advice, what would your advice be to your younger self? And if you could go to any decade in time and space, which decade would you want to go to and why?
For the first part of the question, saying to my younger self, you're definitely going to hear no more than what you hear yes. Um, it's the same like with drag racing as well. You lose more than you'll win. So I've always tried to incorporate that. And a decade, probably the 80s. I love my 80s music.
To people that don't know, as you mentioned, the drag racing, I'll get onto that too. What do you prefer more, drag racing or singing more?
No, you can't do that to me, Jacob.
Oh, I have to do it to you. I have to put you on the spot.
They'd have to be tied.
Okay.
I've done performances at the drags. Like, I've sang the national anthem on TV and at some of these events and everything like that. Like, they've given me opportunities as well, because my dad's been a part of the drag racing community since he was 17. And he's in his 50s. And my mum used to race her streetcar legally, just that in legally. And she raced her streetcar while she was pregnant with me. So I've pretty much been drag racing longer than I've been a singer. So it'd have to be a tie.
So, on to my very next question. So, if you could, like, what are like the positive and negative side into the music industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Positives would want for me that I've noticed is that it's a big community, it's a big family. You have a broken string, I'm sure someone's got spares that they would be willing to loan you. You need a capo, I've got a spare capo. You need picks, I have a desk full of them. It's a big family, and everyone's willing to give advice and give support, and everyone's so understanding and so helpful. A negative that for me personally, is that to go on bigger stages like at Gympie, you have to have experience. But how am I supposed to get the experience without the opportunity to get the experience? And I completely understand, like, they're thinking money, they're thinking publicity, they're thinking things like that. And me getting past that is that I write a song. I sit down, I write a song about it. So that way I can release more music, get more well known. I move past it. I don't sit and be like, oh, I'm just going to give up. I don't give up.
So, on to my very next question. So, what advice would you give to upcoming artists that want to start out in the music industry? And yeah,
Keep your contacts. Find people like yourself that will support and listen and post. Make friends with people. Like, if you see someone busking in Tamworth, or you see someone playing in Gympie and you absolutely love them, go up and have a conversation with them. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on Facebook. Watch listen to their music on Spotify. Just try and find your people, your connections. That would probably be my biggest thing. Like, I found Tony. Tony was my first connection that I ever made in the music industry. And then he suggested for me to go to the academy. I went to the academy and I made more connections. So just find someone who fits for you.
so on to my very last question for you, Emma. So, like, what's next for you for the rest of 2024 onwards? Like, any music things that are in the works?
Well, while I was in Tamworth for the Academy of Country Music, I learnt a lot. Like, I have a journal just full of notes, pages and pages and pages and pages full of notes of just how I can help myself in the industry. And I also got to do a co-writing session with Mickey Pye, and we wrote a very beautiful song that was very personal to me, and I know that a lot of young people have experienced similar situations. And I think that song that I wrote with him would be absolutely fantastic to release. So I'm going to be working my butt off and saving up a lot of money so I can do recording sessions and get this song out. So, and gigs as well out in Ipswich way.
Yes. So, I would love to know if you have the time to perform one of your original songs on the show, by the way.
I would love to. I happen to have my guitar. I'll probably sing the one that I was just talking about. So this song is called Forget About You, and you can take it in many different ways. It doesn't have one set meaning for the audience. It has, like, you can listen to it and it could have a different meaning to you. So I'm going to play it, and then Jacob, I'm going to ask you what you think the meaning of the song is for you. So this is Forget About You. Hands are burning up all through my skin. I fight those memories, but they always win. Moving on is harder than I knew. You're stuck in my brain, causing some pain. I don't know what to do. How can I forget about you? Everything you put me through. I wanna forget your lies, forget that time, forget those sleepless nights you put me through. I just wanna forget about you. I just wanna forget about you. You're out there somewhere, drinking from a can, hurting another girl like the doors you slam. Just crying on the floor, wishing just to leave. You're causing a scene, crushing their dreams like you did to me. How can I forget about you? And everything you put me through. I wanna forget your lies, forget that time, forget those sleepless nights that I've been through. I just wanna forget about you. I just wanna forget about you. You might never pay, but I'm strong enough to say that I hate you. I live with regret, and forgive and forget is something I can never do. How can I forget about you? And everything you put me through. How can I forget about you? And everything you put me through. I wanna forget your lies, forget that time, forget those sleepless nights you put me through. I just wanna forget about you. I just wanna forget you.
Oh my God. Truly inspiring.
Yeah, what you personally, when you listen to that song, what do you think it's about?
Following your own path.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different perspective of what you think. I played that to my mum, and she's like, "Is it about your ex-boyfriend?" I said, "No."
Good old ex-boyfriends. So much, Emma, for appearing on my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on. Everyone, if you don't follow Emma, go follow Emma's page. As you can see right here, she's an inspiring artist, and yeah, go give her a follow. Emma, do you have any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people on the show?
You like my Stitch shirt?
I do. Yes.
Much when I get around to posting, I'm very much like very goofy, very like I'll send you messages. If you send me messages, I'll send you messages back. I'm all down. I'm all down to have like a good old chat with anyone. This is probably the first time I've done any lives without makeup on.
You look great. You look fine.
But I really appreciate you having me on your show, and I really appreciate all the support that you've gave me the last year and a bit.